66 million years ago, the world changed in an instant. For over 150 million years, dinosaurs had dominated the land, their reign matched only by the strange and wondrous creatures of the air and sea. But in the blink of an eye, on a day that began like any other, the Earth was struck by a force beyond anything life had ever endured. A colossal asteroid, measuring between 10 and 15 kilometers wide, hurtled through the atmosphere and slammed into the planet in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. The impact unleashed an energy equivalent to billions of atomic bombs, carving out the vast Chicxulub crater and setting off a chain reaction of apocalyptic events. The immediate effects were catastrophic. At ground zero, anything living was vaporized in an instant, erased by a wall of fire and unimaginable pressure. For hundreds, even thousands of kilometers in every direction, forests ignited and the land was scoured by shockwaves and searing winds. Along distant coastlines, tsunamis, towering up to 1,000 feet, crashed ashore, swallowing whole ecosystems in their path. The very crust of the Earth shuddered with earthquakes more powerful than anything humans would ever know.
But the devastation did not end there. The force of the impact ejected trillions of tons of debris high into the atmosphere. As this material hurtled back to Earth, it superheated the sky, turning the heavens into an oven that ignited global firestorms. Soot, ash, and vaporized rock blotted out the sun, shrouding the world in a twilight that lasted for months, perhaps even years. Temperatures plummeted, photosynthesis ground to a halt, and the food webs that sustained life began to unravel.
This was the dawn of darkness, a global nuclear winter that would test the resilience of life as never before. The mighty non-avian dinosaurs, who had towered over the continents, vanished forever. The skies lost their pterosaurs, and the seas saw the end of great marine reptiles like mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Countless marine invertebrates, from the coiled ammonites to the reef-building rudists, disappeared. In all, about 3/4 of Earth's species were wiped out.
Forests, the lungs of the planet, fared little better. Charred remains and layers of charcoal found around the world bear silent witness to the infernos that swept the land. Trees died en masse, and with them, the birds that nested in their branches. Only those avian survivors that could scratch out a living on the ground, birds with strong legs and adaptable diets, made it through. A few resilient crocodiles, lurking in muddy rivers, outlasted the cataclysm, as did some fish and turtles. Yet even as darkness held sway and the world seemed lifeless, pockets of survival endured. Life, ever adaptable, found cracks in the devastation. Animals that could burrow into the earth, avoiding the worst of the heat and cold, had a higher chance of surviving. Generalists, creatures that could eat almost anything, proved more resilient than those with specialized diets. Small mammals, long overshadowed by the dinosaurs, scurried through the undergrowth, finding shelter in burrows and feeding on whatever they could find.
The oceans, too, suffered immensely. The collapse of photosynthesizing plankton, the base of the marine food web, was a blow felt throughout the water column. Carbon delivery to the deep sea, a process vital for ocean health, faltered. Many marine species vanished, and entire ecosystems teetered on the brink. Yet, in the ashes of disaster, opportunity emerged. With the dominant reptiles gone, the world was left with countless empty niches, places in the web of life that needed to be filled. This set the stage for one of the most remarkable chapters in Earth's history, the rise of the mammals. For millions of years, mammals had lived in the shadows, mostly small, nocturnal, and unassuming. But now, with the dinosaurs gone, they found themselves in a world of possibility. In a relatively short span of time, mammals began to diversify at a breathtaking rate. They evolved new forms and filled roles left vacant by the vanished giants. Some, like the pantodonts such as Barolambda, grew to impressive sizes, becoming the new giants of their era. Others adapted to swim, climb, or fly. The groundwork was laid for the eventual evolution of primates, whales, bats, and all the astonishing mammalian diversity we see today.
Birds, too, seized the opportunity. The surviving lineages began to branch out and adapt to new environments. Over millions of years, this would lead to the incredible array of bird species that now inhabit every corner of the globe, from the icy poles to the steamy tropics. Meanwhile, the world slowly began to recover. In the oceans, plant-like plankton rebounded first, re-establishing the base of the food chain. On land, the regrowth of forests and the return of complex plant communities took longer, but gradually ecosystems began to rebuild. However, full recovery, measured by the return of biodiversity to pre-extinction levels, was a slow process. In some marine environments, it took up to 8 million years for the variety of life to match what had existed before the impact. This period of renewal and innovation marked the beginning of the Cenozoic era, often called the Age of Mammals. Over time, new ecosystems flourished, shaped by the survivors of the KPG extinction event. The world would never be the same, but life proved itself resilient and inventive, filling the planet with new forms and possibilities. The story of the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction is a testament to the power of sudden change and the remarkable ability of life to adapt and recover. In the shadow of mass extinction, the seeds of the modern world were sown. The age of dinosaurs gave way to the age of mammals, and in this new world, the lineage that would one day lead to humans quietly began its journey. The catastrophe that ended one chapter in Earth's history opened the door for another, a story still being written today.